The arena fell silent as Hazel's wings crumpled beneath her. Her ethereal blue feathers scattered across the blood-stained sand like fallen stars. The Krillian executioners stepped back, their mandibles clicking in satisfaction as they surveyed their work. The gathered crowd of various alien species roared their approval. Another inferior being had been broken for their entertainment. Hazel's people, the Etheri, were known throughout the galaxy for their grace and their ability to soar through the void between stars using their magnificent wings. But here, in the brutal fighting pits of Nexus Prime, grace meant nothing. Her wings had been systematically shattered. Each delicate bone snapped with calculated precision while thousands watched and cheered. She lay motionless, her luminescent skin dimming as life ebbed away. The crowd began to disperse, already hungry for the next spectacle. But in the upper viewing decks, one figure remained frozen in his seat. Denial Matthews had seen enough horror during his years as a freelance medic working the Outer Rim systems. But this was different. This was deliberate cruelty, designed not just to kill but to destroy the very essence of what made the victim who they were. His hands clenched the railing until his knuckles went white. "Just another Xeno getting what it deserved," muttered the Vorthan traitor sitting next to him. "These Etheri think they're so superior with their flying. Good to see one brought down to size." Denial said nothing. He was already calculating. The arena would dump her body in the disposal chutes within the hour. That was standard protocol. But the chutes led to the lower maintenance levels, and he knew those tunnels better than most. He'd been treating the desperate and dying in Nexus, Prime's Undercity, for 3 years. As the crowd filed out, Denial made his move. He slipped through service corridors and maintenance shafts, his medical kit bouncing against his hip. He reached the disposal level just as Hazel's broken form tumbled down the chute, landing in a heap of refuse and discarded corpses. She was barely breathing, her chest rising and falling in shallow, irregular gasps. Up close, he could see the full extent of the damage. Her wings weren't just broken. They'd been methodically destroyed. The executioners had taken their time, ensuring maximum suffering. But she was alive, and where there was life, there was hope. Denial gathered her carefully in his arms, surprised by how light she was despite her human-like size. Her skin was cold, her luminescence reduced to the faintest glow. He carried her through the maze of tunnels to his makeshift clinic in the abandoned Sector 7. For 3 days, he fought death itself. Hazal's physiology was different from anything in his medical databases, but Denial had learned long ago that determination often mattered more than textbook knowledge. He stabilized her breathing, treated her wounds, and began the painstaking process of understanding how her unique biology worked. On the 4th day, her eyes opened. They were the color of nebulae, swirling with purples and blues that seemed to hold the depth of space itself. "Why?" she whispered, her voice like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Because no one deserves to die like that," Denial replied simply, adjusting the IV drip he'd rigged from salvaged components. "And because someone needed to care." Hazal studied, his face confusion evident in her alien features. "You are human, guilty as charged. But humans are..." She paused, searching for words. "Your species is known for violence, for conquest. Why save someone like me?" Denial smiled grimly. "Maybe that's exactly why I had to." Over the following weeks, as Hazal slowly recovered, she learned about the human treating her. Denial had been a military medic during the Terran Hegemony War, but he'd walked away from it all after watching too many good people die for political games. He'd come to Nexus Prime to help whoever needed it, regardless of species, politics, or ability to pay. "Your wings," he said one day as he checked her bandages. "They're not going to heal the same way. The damage was too extensive." Hazel nodded, having already accepted this reality. "I will never fly again." "Maybe not the way you used to," Denial agreed. "But I've been thinking, there might be another way." He showed her his sketches, designs for artificial wing extensions that could work with her remaining bone structure. Not for flight, but for something else entirely. Using salvaged gravity manipulators and power cells, he believed he could give her limited movement capabilities and, more importantly, a way to defend herself. You would do this? Even after I am healed enough to leave? Denial shrugged. Where would you go? Your people think you're dead. The galaxy isn't exactly welcoming to the broken and forgotten. As weeks turned to months, they worked together on the Wing project. Hazal proved to have an intuitive understanding of the technology, while Denial provided the medical and engineering expertise. Slowly, something extraordinary took shape. The cybernetic wing extensions weren't beautiful like her original wings. They were angular, utilitarian, clearly artificial. But they were strong. More than strong. They turned her from a broken angel into something new entirely. When the Krillian executioners came looking for easy prey in Sector 7, they found something they hadn't expected. Hazal rose to meet them, her mechanical wings spreading wide, energy crackling between the metal feathers. She moved with deadly precision, every strike calculated for maximum impact. "You broke the wrong person," she told their leader, as he lay bleeding at her feet. Word spread quickly through Nexus Prime's underworld. The broken Etheri lived, and she was no longer alone. A growing number of the discarded and desperate had begun gathering around the human medic and his unlikely protector. Denial watched from the clinic entrance as Hazal stood guard outside, her artificial wings gleaming in the neon light. She could never fly through space again, but she had found something perhaps more valuable: purpose, and someone who had refused to let her die forgotten. "Still think I made the right choice?" he asked as she returned inside. Hazal's luminescence had returned, brighter than before, casting ethereal patterns on the walls. "You gave me more than my life back, Denial Matthews. You gave me something worth living for." Outside in the corridors of Nexus Prime, other broken souls heard the stories and began making their way toward Sector 7, toward the human who refused to let anyone die alone, and the angel he had rebuilt with metal wings and an unbreakable spirit. The galaxy had taught Hazal that the strong devour the weak. But one human had shown her a different truth. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is refuse to let go.